Hello everyone, it's me Doomlink, and I welcome you all to a rather auspicious recording. It is indeed the 100th part of Doomlink's Life Hunts. I'm not going to make an event out of it, I'm not going to do anything really exciting or special or anything like that, although I did realise that the beverage that I was going to consume is, well, I don't have a glass for it on hand. I might have to drink out of the Franziskaner glass that I drank from yesterday. Well, not yesterday. Was that yesterday? I guess it was? No, it was the day before. You know, the one that I was drinking from for the 99th part. I do still have that glass on hand. The point is that my glass cupboard is literally behind my green screen, so it would just be a bit of a nightmare to go and get that out. So I suppose I will drink out of my Franziskaner glass, which is honestly fine. At the end of the day, that's fine. Thank you for... Oh yeah, there's a subscription from Takashi, a resub, I suppose one could call it, although I don't know if it's been marked as such. But, yeah, thank you for that. Oh no, it does say resubscribed for 1 month at tier 1. That is 4 months of you having been subscribed, which is good. And, hello Vernon. You've got about an hour and a half to play, that works well. I am partially annoyed by the fact that I don't... You know what? No. I'm not drinking out of that Franziskaner glass. It's not big enough for the beverage that I want to drink. So I will be back in just one moment. I'm going to go and get the glass that would be most appropriate for this beverage. Alrighty, I'm back. So, this glass, which is, you know, just taller, larger, is what I wanted to drink from. It is my Vein Stefano glass. Okay, webcam position is fine, I think, yes, and hello Autonomic as well. So Vernon is currently watching the animated Monster Hunter movie. I think he paused his viewing of it to be here. He is giving it a 7 out of 10 so far. Which for him means it's worth watching or something, I don't know. Much better than the live action movie, and it's sticking to the lore of Monster Hunter. That's true. Although, again, I've talked about it before, I think they made a very weak decision in focusing on this part of the lore. I find that there is a story that needs to be told in the Monster Hunter series, or in the Monster Hunter story, and it's not being told by this movie. You know, the old first-gen stuff. Oh, the beverage, by the way, is Cooper's Extra Stout, which was... that's correct, yes. And it's worth mentioning that I was wanting to consume this in that Dark Souls recording that I did, where I was instead drinking Guinness Extra Stout, but this was not available at that time. And I had the Guinness Extra Stout, and I came to the realization that I'll probably never drink that ever again. It tasted like workers' arse sweat. It was just a fucking unpleasant beverage. And, I'm sick of the game constantly going dark like that. That's the second time I've had to go and undarken it. Let's move that microphone. Alright. Hey Ron Money. Must be rather late for you. Thanks for tuning in. Although usually you just say hello and then never say anything ever again. Which is, you know, you're allowed to do that because again it's late. Annoyingly... there's a little bit of overflow on this beer, so I'm gonna go and get a tissue 1 minute. About several tissues. So let's just fix that up a little bit. It's 1:50 AM where you are, I see. Well, there you go. Yeah, occasionally you can get a little bit of overflow, but... Oh, actually, come to think of it, I do have some serviettes on hand from a previous meal. What kind of meal was it, Doomlink? It was a succulent Chinese meal, is what it was. No, it wasn't a Chinese meal at all. Just a random reference that popped into my head. Well, no, that's, well, 1:50 AM and 2:20 AM. You know, there is a difference between those two times. You know, some people, I would say that staying up until 2 is appropriate, but after 2 it's like, well, you know, I do kind of have to get up in the morning, so maybe I'll actually... Oh, you can come to think of it, there's this thing in the screen. This bar, or... the bar, I say. More like pillar. Structural plank, whatever you want to call it. It was a little distracting. Anyway. It's good to hear that you unlocked the last armor piece you needed for the hunting horn set that you were making last time we were recording. Well, last time I was recording. And, yeah. Oh, you unlocked the quest that you needed. Can you stop pausing the chat, Twitch? Seriously. I scrolled once, accidentally, and the chat was like, chat paused due to scroll, and it refused to unpause. I mean, seriously, I know you're trying to help Twitch, but that's not helping anyone, and it's certainly not helping me. Alrighty. Yes, I do know you watch the VOD uploads on YouTube, Ron, and it's people such as yourself that encourage me to continue doing that. I will always do that, but sometimes it feels like a bit of a waste. There aren't too many people on YouTube watching, to be honest, but it is alright. But yeah, I will only be live for 2 hours again, same as last time. No longer recordings today, because I'm actually unable to do that. And that's a much nicer step, compared to the last one that I assaulted my mouth with. Okay. So, I don't know how many people we have, like, ready to play. I guess Autonomic and Vernon are wanting to play, so I suppose, just to be careful, I will make a room. It shall be G-Rank, just as it was last time. Just as it always is. It usually is that anyway. And, yeah, just HR minimum 13. Done. You're doing a quest? Okay. Well, it's no rush. I'll probably be able to get at least one person in shortly, outside of Vernon, so, well, ideally it would be one person, because I wouldn't have to kick someone in the future for you. I would do it, it's just I wouldn't want to, because I don't like having to kick people, but anyway. I can see that I'm still using the armor set that I was using for the Alatreon hunt. Well, of course I am, because I haven't played in my own time, but yeah. It's pretty much the only set that I bothered to transmog outside of my Atlkar armor set, but that Atlkar armor set was just given full skeletal Nakakos. Which is, you know, that's still transmog, but it's not the same as this, where it's sort of a mix and match of armor pieces to look nice. It's mostly Damascus, I think, but it's Damascus, whatever, I think it's Lodestar, and that's Gormagala legs, I think. Anyway. Let's get Igneous. I will use Thunderlight Bowgun, I think. I could alternatively use, you know what, let's use Rapid Dragon. I feel like I haven't used Rapid Dragon in a little while. It's strange, I just haven't used it. I used to use it pretty frequently, but I guess I needed a break from it. I needed some time away from it. We needed to separate, because we had had too much of each other. Alright. Looking for the usual. Oh, I will not announce it, because you know what I'm looking for. You know very well. Not looking too good at the moment. Alright. Too bad. I suppose I'll go for increased attack, although... No, I think I've got good defense with this armor set, but it is a hyper monster, so maybe I'll play it safe. I'll go for... Okay, supplier and charisma, why not? We'll try to depart... Oh, I was going to say we'll try to depart with 3, but it seems that 2 people joined simultaneously, so we now have a full group, which is fine. They're quite ready to go right now, as well. Let's put away these elemental shots. What do I want? I want, obviously, dragon shots. Most of the dragon damage is going to be dealt through the internal dragon ammunition, but of course it's important to have actual dragon level 1 as well. I want bone husks and dragon fell berries, I believe. Hopefully I have enough. Yes, I do. I have plenty. Okay. And in terms of other shots, I guess I do have some shrapnel internal ammo for this gun. And I can also shoot some pierce, so that should be just fine. We'll depart with that. Vernon says, if you ever decide to watch the animated movie, and that's a big if, don't let the beginning deter you. That's always a good start, isn't it? It might look terrible at first, but keep watching it. Actually, I'm not really being assaulted by a Cyanotaur there. He left me alone. I was taking damage, I believe. Oh no, maybe he did hit me, I didn't see. I thought I might have been losing health from the... Oh, whoops, I want to go this way. Thought I was just losing health from the heat, but I think I had lost a bit too much health given the time that had passed for that to be purely health loss from the heat of the location. I'm ready to join, says Autonomic. Well, had I known that you were so close, I would have just waited, but that's alright. We'll get this done as quickly as possible. I'd like to aim for the face, honestly. I mean, good piercings is useful, but if I can get this on the face, this would be great. There you go. So I'm starting with the internal ammo. It's rapid fire. I think I started with 7 of them. And it's pretty good. Very good damage. Do I have dragon attack up and element attack up on this set? I do. And I have normal up, actually. Well, nothing wrong with that, I guess. Sorry for lining up with you there. Jean-Paul is already... He's gone. He's out. It was only the beginning of the quest, basically, and he's down for the count. But it is true that this is a hyper monster, so he's going to be hitting pretty hard, but... Jeez. He had only been in combat with the monster for the best part of 5 seconds. I believe he... Unless he was the hunter who was with me from the start, you know. There was a period of time where it was just me and one other guy. It might have been him. I didn't actually see. I was too busy focusing on where on the Rathalos I wanted to be shooting, but... You can see that I'm just trying to time it properly, because this is... It hurts if you miss a dragon shot, because you don't have many of them and it's high damage, so... You're losing out on a lot of damage if you miss a shot, especially in this case with it being rapid fire. Easier to get off target if it's rapid fire. Alright, this is where combinations are going to be necessary. I'll be trying to aim for the head here, but this is also a piercing shot. Needless to say. Didn't really like that turnaround. Speaking of turnaround, I was wanting you to turn around, but you got Well, you reached a damage threshold. Hey, that's pretty good. Trying to get in position for a pierce through the head. That was more the neck, to be honest. Not quite what I was looking for. Let's go through the wing there. Whoops, I did not bring combination books. That's awkward. So I've got a 75% success rate on my Dragon Shot combine, or combination. And that was not a... I mean, what a terrible place for me to be standing, given what I'm shooting. It couldn't be worse. Like, ideally, I would be piercing through the head for maximum elemental damage, but here I am shooting him in the anus instead. That's heinous. Alright, so I think I missed out on 2 or 3, I think 3 shots. Due to the fact that I had neglected to bring combination books, but... whatever. Sometimes you just have to live with your decisions. But it didn't... I think it was fine in the end. I mean, yeah, I lost a bit of damage. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't want to do Bullet Geyser here because I don't want to hit away any of my teammates in this moment. Oh, there's another trap out of the paralysis, which is fine. I think that's quite good. Straight in the trap, come on. So I'm doing shrapnel here. I don't know how good shrapnel is for damage. I really have no idea. I can only assume that it's good. I think one problem with shrapnel is that it does definitely have the capacity to flinch your teammates. That's one downside to it. But this guy's using a longsword, so I'm not too worried about that. I can only assume this is good damage, so... I'll just use this, I suppose. It lasts a while too, obviously, because it's rapid fire. It seems to be similar to slicing. It's almost like a pellet version of slicing, but of course it doesn't have the same effect as pellet on the team because you're not shooting. You know, there isn't a distance between yourself and the monster where the pellet is actually traveling. Rather, the pellet seems to be shot out of the ammunition when it makes contact with the monster. I don't know if that's an appropriate way to interpret shrapnel, but it looks that way. Yeah, thank you. It's 100 parts. And yeah. Live hunts very quickly overtook random hunts because... oh, fucking hell. Oh, don't tell me we all went in the wrong ass direction. No, he did go this way. I was right. I'm glad that I wasn't totally wrong. But I wonder which is the fastest way to go. This way or the other way? Oh no, he is here. Come to think of it. He is this way. Unfortunately, Cool went and guessed, not realizing that some of us actually have Psycho Serums. But anyway, hello. We've done very well in terms of dealing damage, though. I can't believe you're limping so far. What's going on with you? Shoot him in the anus again. He's dropping another trap. Is he really going for a capture? It's just not necessary. Look at him. He has no interest in attacking him. He's instead going to go for the capture. I just don't like to, on principle, capture hyper monsters unless we're at risk of failing. The reason why is because it feels like you would be rewarded for succeeding in killing a monster that has extra health. You know, capturing is the easy way out, so it just doesn't feel right to do that. You know, it's an extra 60 seconds of your time to just kill the fucking thing, so just do it. I think Jean Paul's a bit upset about it. About the fact that we basically flinched him out of dropping a trap the whole time. But, whatever. Well, I'm really happy to hear that, Ron, and thank you for what you've said. You can never know how your recordings impact other people, unless they tell you. But it is true that that's just the nature of putting your content out there. Many different people are out there to interpret it or get out of it whatever they get out of it, and you know, sometimes, like, let's say, for example, I were to stop, you know, that could impact people in ways that I'd never know, because maybe they didn't really, maybe they had never told me that, you know, my content meant a lot to them, you know, my videos meant a lot to them. And maybe they'd never really communicated in general, you know, there are a lot of people who watch me, who don't talk to me, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, say hello, make yourself known. You don't necessarily have to have a full-blown conversation with me all the time, or comment on every video, but there are so many people who watch me that I just don't know them at all. Like, they are just silent viewers. And I don't really understand that. I understand that some people come in and out and don't have a reason to really say anything, but I'm sure that there are some consistent viewers that I have that I've never spoken to and never seen the names of or anything like that. Just silent viewers. It is strange to me, but I don't think shyness would be it. I think it's... I don't know what it would be, but anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm glad that my recordings were something that could get you through tough times. It's encouraging to hear that. I got hit 3 times and didn't have to use a potion. What was Jean's problem? I do wonder. Obviously your defense is a lot better than his. Let's check his defense. He must have really bad defense, which is possible when you're gunning. It's not always the case that your defense is going to be appropriate. So you're on 567, he's on 439. Well, 439 honestly is still okay, but he definitely does have considerably less defense than you do, so that's somewhat understandable. He probably also has bad fire defense, that would be my guess. Oh no, he's got positive 2s, so that's not too bad at all. I don't know. Come on, Hare. I need a bit more cooperation from you, Mr. Hare. Alright. I don't really... What should I do here? Should I kick them both? Let's just kick them both. That way everyone is equal in their being kicked from the room. I hope you're ready to join Autonomic, because... I mean, I feel bad for kicking them, but... they probably thought it was a turns room and that they were going to get their turn soon. Thank you for the subscription. The resub, as it is. Potato and Takashi on 4 months. I mean, most people who... What the fuck? I hate doing that accidentally. That is my least favourite thing. Sometimes I'm just trying to put my fucking potions or whatever into my box, and I accidentally replace something in my inventory, and then I have to work out what it was that I replaced, because it happened so fast that I didn't really get to see. What the fuck was it? Shit. Okay, so what am I missing? Life powders is what I'm missing. I'm glad I worked that out quickly. It's so annoying when that happens. It is my least favourite thing. Alright. I don't know if anyone else is around to play. If you are and want to play, make yourself known, because you have a free space right now. And I would be willing to kick Eric soon for that, but yeah, feel free to post Autonomic. It's funny to see that you're already at Hunt rank 188. God, rank ups are fast in this game. I'll try and eat for Exchanger. Thought that might have been it. It was not. It was not. There we go. There it is. I combined there it is and there we go into there, which was nice. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about the resistance. How about I actually speak instead of shortening things very awkwardly. It's fine to shorten it to res in writing, but to actually say it. I don't care about the res. Try speaking, Doomlink. I hear it helps. Do you know what you're doing, Autonomic? Yes, this is the real potato. There are two potatoes, except one of them's a bit in and out. The original potato is Potato Wielder. He's been watching me since, I think, 2017. But he disappears for very long periods of time. The main potato is the one in chat currently. As in, the one who watches me fairly frequently. Even though he hasn't been around recently all that much, he is probably still my main viewer. Well, one of my main viewers, I should say. My main viewer would be Vernon, because he seems to always be here. Most of the reason why is because he has a really messed up sleep schedule. So, that's one of the main reasons why he's always here. I'm sure some of you would be here all the time if you could be, but... yeah. We have Barrioth on the board. Are you sure you don't want to do Hyper? Because again, we've got a full room here, so... yeah. I would understand if we didn't have a full group together, as far as posting the normal one, but... may as well do Hyper. What would I like to use? Let's do Insect Glaive, seeing as I'm hovering over it. Nothing wrong with a bit of Insect Glaive. Going full-blown me. Well, I know what that means. Actually... yeah, sorry, I'm doing Hyper because I have Exchanger right now. I'll get more... like, seriously, it's not going to be hard to do the Hyper Hunt. And... I've got Exchanger, so I want more HRP. So, yeah, we're doing the Hyper. Just put that on the board so it doesn't look like I'm... you know, taking your turn or something. I think Takashi's... I think he's in the US. He could be in the UK, but I think he's in the US. I know Potato's in the UK. Yeah, he's in the US. That's right. I have two viewers from California. Araxian and Takashi. Alright. Bob is actually doing something a bit unusual today. Rather than whipping out a power tool or a hammer or anything of that sort, he's pulled out a high-pressure water hose. That's new. That's very new. Quite frankly, less disruptive. Oh. Ethan is suggesting that he might join. I don't know if he will actually make an appearance in-game, but he's asking if I want company. And you know what? It's been so long since I have played Monster Hunter with Ethan here on stream that I think I have to. So let's do that. I'll just get that set up. It won't take much more than a moment. I'm not leeching on your quest. Trust me. I'm just, you know, setting up things that are important. I think his volume should be fine. I'll do what I can to fix it if there's anything wrong with it. Hello, Ethan.
Hello?
Hello. I'll boost your volume a bit.
Yeah. That was all sound test.
Yeah, sound test. It's important that we do this. I thought you might have had something to say. Maybe that's why you were clearing your throat.
No. Don't get too excited.
Alright.
I don't have anything of value to say or input.
Good to know.
I just, I saw you were streaming and was like, huh. I wonder if he wants to hang out.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, also, I wanted to see if tonight you were interested in watching the old Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You were talking about that before. I'm just making sure that your volume is appropriate. This Eric guy actually thinks I'm leeching. He thinks me at Hunter rank 870 whatever is leeching, and he's actually taking the time to upswing me into the area with the monster. I mean, what a dick.
Well, I mean, are you standing still doing nothing?
I'm sort of moving back and forth. If I was AFK, then he'd basically be making the success of the hunt harder to achieve by having like a free death, basically.
Well, honestly, he's not helping anyone.
Why are you so quiet? I don't understand. See, this is very frustrating.
Oh, I turned myself down on my end a while back because I was doing some streaming of my own, and unlike you, when I stream, my sound is not, or rather, unlike when I'm on your stream, rather, my sound is fine. So how do I sound now?
Probably fine. I'm just... It seems like I've got a limiter on negative 10 dB on my output. I don't know why. That's what it looks like. I don't know if that's actually true, but...
I was playing our last co-stream at work the other day, and the girls were like, you guys are hilarious.
This is really bothering me. I mean, this is one of the problems with having this all set up while live. Usually it just works fine, but it seems for some reason that Ethan can't go louder than negative 10 dB. It's possible that OBS is displaying this incorrectly. Maybe he's perfectly fine volume-wise, and OBS is just like, no, I'm broken, and I'm going to display that he can't go past negative 10. But, yeah. This is the sort of thing that I like to troubleshoot when I'm not live. You know, this has basically completely nuked the flow of all of this, but I...
Oh, my bad, Brother Bear.
It's not your bad. It's OBS being fucking useless. I've got no idea if you're loud enough. I mean...
Well, we can always ask the audience. Audience?
I tend not to do that.
Oh, why? Are they liars?
They're not liars, it's just, you know, if I ask if anything's wrong, they almost never say yes, and then I'll watch the VOD back and it's a fucking train wreck, so... I mean, that's
they're
nothing.
Liars.
They're not liars, they just don't know what's good or bad, which is not on them, you know, I'm just a bit more
You hear that, guy?
anal about things.
He doesn't think you know what's good or bad.
Not in the way that I do, anyway. You know, that's the domain for the guy making the video, not for the audience, you know.
Ethan quiet. Never.
Ethan quiet. Everything... You see? Vernon says, Ethan quiet. Takashi says, everything's fine. So...
Wait, I thought Vern was telling me to shut the hell up.
No.
He was like, shut up, you...
He's trying to actually hunt the monster, you see. I've got no idea... Yeah, he's playing right now, and I think Eric has begrudgingly decided to actually hunt the monster instead of try to upswing me into the area. I don't know why I can't boost your volume. I mean, it is actually confusing to me. My only solution is to try to... Oh, this is extremely annoying. Because it was only like a few days ago when I was doing the Sonic recording with you and everything was fine. There was nothing wrong. But now it's a fucking shit show. Maybe I do... Oh, it's possible that I have... Let me check filters. No filter on. What the fuck? OBS, sometimes you make me so fucking annoyed that words could not even begin to describe my rage. I apologize that I've not even contributed to this hunt, but, you know, this is the beauty of going live, I guess.
Are you in G rank?
Yes. G rank hyper, in fact.
Oh, yikes.
What the fuck, OBS? I'm even boosting the output within OBS, like the output... Oh my god.
Well, just turn me up in Discord.
That's what I've been doing, and it doesn't do it. And that's what I was doing last time as well. I mean, this makes no sense. That nothing about this makes...
I know what you gotta do. I've run into this issue with OBS before. It's like locked in. It's like glitched. The source is glitched. So what you're gonna want to do is delete the source, and then re-establish the source, and then it'll let you edit it.
What the fuck? But that's just my standard output. That's just my audio output. How... That's awful.
Well, you could always add me as a source, unique to the output of your computer.
Sure, let's do that. We're doing it live, guys. Not that I like that. Okay. I'm gonna name this source Ethan. Ethan. He is his own source, indeed. Okay.
I am the source.
Okay, now we don't need you to come through twice, okay. Talk now? I think it's the same problem.
Hello!
Yeah, it's the same. You are... It's like there's a limiter on negative 10 dB. What the actual jumping Jesus. I cannot believe what I'm witnessing.
We'll
you know what it probably...
Quest and and we'll fix it afterwards.
Well, I think, Ethan... This would mean that you can't be here today. Unfortunately, because I can't fix this while live. It'll be 30 minutes of troubleshooting audio that literally 0 people will want to see. But I regret that I couldn't get you here, but yeah, hopefully we can fix this some other time.
Off the stream, guys.
Yeah, you're getting kicked off. You're out. You're off the island. I'll catch you later, Ethan. Everything sounds fine to me, says Takashi. I can't trust that. I cannot trust that. I'm sorry. But yeah. Autonomic and Ethan say, excuse me, Autonomic and Vernon say he's quiet, and I have visual proof that he's quiet, right? So, I mean, I apologize that I just spent, you know, 10 minutes almost fucking around with that, but I just, you know... For some reason, OBS just does not want to be cooperative, and I do not understand it. There was nothing about what was happening right there that made any sense. You know, this is not new territory for me. Adding another person into the call, like I've done that while live many times, which is to say that usually there's not much of a process to it, but yeah, OBS was just like, nope. Guess what, Doomlink? I'm not going to work today. Ethan has not been quiet in my streams. He's always been slightly quieter than me. He's not... he would have been much quieter then than the Sonic 06 recording, for example. The reason why is because I have compression going right now, and... No, what you say as far as Ethan always being quiet on my streams is basically incorrect. I mean, there was only one recording where he was... not loud enough, and that was... yeah. But outside of that, it's been fine for the most part. Alrighty. But yeah, I just... Again, when something weird happens like that, where I just can't get his volume to an appropriate level because OBS is shitting itself, like... increasing the volume of the output or the source does nothing to increase the volume. I mean, that makes no sense. So if something like that happens, that's something for me to deal with while I'm not sitting here trying to do a live stream and play the game. So as much as I regret that things turned out that way, that's just how it has to be. My guess is that the solution was to restart OBS entirely, which I can't very well do while live, so... I regret to say that this is how things have to be. I've got a bit of a froggy throat. But yeah, Eric is probably going to leave this room in a huff, thinking that I'm just gone and leached this whole thing. As if I'm going to leech. I can't believe the gall of this guy. The fact that he would actually see that I'm AFK in the camp and try to upswing me into the area with the monster as if to say, no, you're hunting with us. Like, hello. Imagine being such a dork. Yeah, ask for him to leave. Like, instead of just kicking him or letting him leave on his own, just say to him, can you leave? Like, you're a terrible hunter. It has more impact that way, and if under those circumstances he still doesn't leave, then I'll just, I'll fucking kick him, but... yeah, he's being a fucking dick. Alright, Extract Hunter. Oh my god, I just did Extract Hunter and I regret to say that Eric hit me with his... whatever that Hunter Art's called. I can't even think of what it's called right now, but yeah. That was some shit right there. Actually, well, I'll do that after I've killed this monster. Let's go for the capture, actually. I think he's capturable, isn't he? Wasn't he limping? This is a very interesting place to put a trap. Alright, he's dead. As long as he's dead, I'm happy. And I do apologize for the fact that I didn't really contribute to this hunt at all. Because, and that will actually require that I use the insect glaive going forward. My content creator sensibilities are absolutely, you know, well, they tell me that 8 minutes of fucking around with Ethan's sound is a great way to nuke a stream, and I hate that, but we'll try to move on from that. You know, when something doesn't work, it just doesn't work, so yeah, rather than fuck around with it while live, it's better to cut your losses. Hold on. I'm going to remove the Ethan source. It has no need to exist anymore. Remove. Okay, I'm just decluttering my OBS screen now. Okay. But yes, I will get Ethan on a Monster Hunter stream in the future. But today's not the day, apparently. What's this extra icon Ethan has? What is that? Current hype train conductor. Oh god. What the fuck, Twitch? Hype train conductor. I suppose that's rather cute that they've gone with the train analogy. With calling him a conductor, but come on. That's just weird. And now he's got a... well, maybe that was always his name colour. I suppose it was. Anyway. Alright, what's happening with Eric? Maybe Eric is... oh, I was going to say maybe Eric is also furiously typing. Well, I mean, it's good to be honest, isn't it? It's good to be honest. No, I was watching him. I didn't get to see much of his play, but I did see him doing combo greatsword while the monster was stationary. You know, he was doing upswings. Eric, I don't like you, leave. That's great. A bit of honesty. Please. Oh, that's nice of you. That's nice of you to say. See, when you slip a please in there, it's harder for them to take issue with what you've said. I don't know if Ethan will hunt. Ethan's allergic to Monster Hunter these days. It would have to be quite an event for me to bring him on board. You know, I'd have to get him. You know, I'd almost have to, how do I say, groom him into it. Alright. That's the rest of my beer in the glass. It's a bigger bottle than what the glass can hold, so yeah. It seems, I mean, he might not understand English, or he might have no desire to respond, but, you know, I've really given him some time to respond and he hasn't, so if you don't leave, you'll be kicked. Well, I don't think it was necessary to let him know that, but I guess I'll have to give him an extra 30 seconds now that you've said that. Just to give him a chance, or give him the chance to leave on his own. He can understand English. I don't believe that a person who's named themselves Eric is not someone who can speak English. I mean, he could be, you know, he might not... I'll tickle you, says Autonomic. Okay. Tickle me, Eric. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Thank you, Tron. Message from Tron when he resums. Oh shit, so this is where my money has been going all month. I tried to buy a pizza yesterday, and my card got declined. I didn't know why. It's 'cause I'm subbed to you. And then proceeds to resub. No pizza for you. But thank you. I very much appreciate that. I mean, you assume that Ethan's still here, Vernon. Ethan is in and out like the wind. He's a busy man. He's got things to do, like play Rocket League and Destiny 2 and things like that. If you're still here, Ethan, Vernon would love to play with you. He's only got 30 minutes left to hunt. Would you deny him your presence? Yeah, well, there you go. He's allergic to Monster Hunter. There you go. Well, you know, I don't know. I wasn't intending to put words in your mouth, Ethan, but if you are, then it's okay. You're allowed to be. Alright, I don't know. Yes, I believe Zamtrios drops cryo sacks. In fact, oh no, I just picked up some cryo sacks from that Barioth hunt. So maybe Zamtrios doesn't drop them. Maybe Zamtrios is just paddock oil. Or paddock cream. Oh, good. Ethan has a reason for not joining. It's because his Switch isn't with him at this time. Well, looks like that wouldn't be necessary, Vernon. He's just simply unable to hunt. Shall I actually, no. I shall not use paralysis because of a certain someone. So, that's off the table. I will use Thunder instead. It sure does make sense. He can't very well come and play with us if he can't come and play with us. That is the nature of it. Alright, let's look for Exchanger. No, you've already set up the quest, Vernon. It's easier to just go ahead with this setup. That's fine. We'll wait for maybe 1 minute. If no one joins in that time, then we'll just 3-man. It won't be too hard. We can 3-man a hyper. I believe in us. Feels good to drink a proper stout, though. I mean, you have to understand, I hadn't consumed a stout in several months. And, you know, I'm just innocently starting a Dark Souls recording. I've bought 2 750ml bottles of Guinness Extra Stout. I pour the contents of the first bottle into a glass. I'm live, I'm enjoying myself, and I drink it and I'm like, no. you can't be that bad, right? It was that bad. It was a terrible beverage. I recall drinking it like Guinness Extra Stout, I recall drinking once like 2 years ago, and it was just, I considered it average at the time. But my palate has since evolved to the point where it is unpalatable. It's just like, ugh, gross. What was the question, Ethan? What was the question? You never asked a question in the stream. You made a statement saying, tell that to Bethesda, and then... Oh, you mean about watching the Sonic movie? I can't, because after this recording I have to go to work. So, yeah, that is the reality, I regret to say. Alright, so I did say that I was going to depart after 1 minute, so there you go. I gave the community at large about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes in fact, to come in here, so... They didn't come, so there's not much I can do. But, yeah, I think it is important to put on record, ladies and gentlemen, that Ethan did show me some clips of the Sonic movie, the most recent one, the animated one, the live-action one. And, you know, it looks pretty good. Like, it's actually shaping up to be a good movie. I say shaping up in the context of my own experience. Obviously, it is probably very well understood and known in the wider community that it is a good movie, but regarding myself, I didn't even know that it existed, really. I remember the drama surrounding its initial announcement, but as far as how it had been fixed, and as far as the fact that it had been completed and released, I knew nothing of that. So, yeah, that was interesting to find out, and, you know, Ethan showed me some clips from it, and it looks really good. Sonic in particular is fucking adorable. I mean, he is just adorable. So, I want to watch that movie. I think I would enjoy it very much. What is Monster Hunter LOTG? Is that the animated movie? I don't remember the name of the movie, so that acronym means nothing to me. I'm going to guess that it's the animated movie. I'm not going to watch it because I don't need to watch it. If I had a need to watch it, at that time I would watch it, or at that point I would watch it. But I don't have a need, so I shan't. You know, I'm not really interested in a movie that needs to be advertised by making such terrible jokes over Twitter as, "Are you ready to kick some lunas?" Like, that's, and apparently that's a line in the movie. I mean, that's okay. If that's the level of the humor, then that's okay. You very clearly outlined the demographic in making a joke of that sort, but that's fine, because at the end of the day, Monster Hunter, in the 5th generation, and in the current generation, if we were to interpret it as such, you know, the dignity is gone, so I don't care. Like, you're welcome to do that. You're welcome to make silly, juvenile jokes that aren't even remotely funny. You're welcome to, you know, have a movie that has a reveal poster that looks like a PS2 game. That's fine. I don't mind. It might be a fine movie. And certainly, you know, what I am concerned about is the fact that people want to say that the newest Monster Hunter animated movie, they want to say that it's better than the live-action movie as if that's somehow a credit to this animated movie. It's not. That's like saying, that's like, you know, getting some really, really basic dessert that is just not even, there's just no passion behind its craft, there's no, it's not even a nice dessert. And you eat it and you say, well, it's better than eating buffalo excrement. It's like, well, okay, yeah, you're right, but does that mean I want to eat this terrible dessert? No. But having said that, it might be a fine movie, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. The expectations that I had set in my mind of an animated Monster Hunter movie are far higher than whatever that's going to be. Like, let's think about it. Monster Hunter was a cultural phenomenon in Japan, okay? And we're going to get, you know, in other words, Monster Hunter should have received a good anime a long time ago, like a really good one that told the whole story of the first gen lore, the second gen lore, all of that. We never got that. Instead, what we get is a fucking live action movie, and then some, you know, seemingly kid-friendly animated movie that seems to be a bit, you know, Western-focused? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's not what I want, and it's not what I'm interested in, and I don't think I'm going to watch it. It's just what happens when you set your expectations too high. And setting your expectations too high comes with the territory of Monster Hunter being your favourite game series. My standards are a bit too high for what Capcom's willing to put out right now. And I don't know why. I don't know why Capcom have decided that they can just come out with mediocre stuff. I've got no clue why that is the case. But that seems to be what's going on right now. I'm not going to go so far as to say that the animated movie is a cash-in. I'm not going to go so far as to say that because I haven't watched it. But, you know, I think the definition of a cash-in is something that has no real creative merit, that has been conceptualized and contrived purely for the purposes of making money, and based on that, they know that they don't actually have to write a good story. They know that it doesn't have to be particularly good because everyone's going to go and watch it anyway. I don't know if that's the case when it comes to this animated movie, but so far, it's not looking too impressive. So, that's what I would say about that. And some will say, well, if you're not going to watch it at all, then maybe you shouldn't comment on it, Doomlink. No, I will comment on it because I can tell you that if you know anything about Japanese animated media, the level of quality that you can reach is almost unfathomable. And I can tell you right now, this Monster Hunter animated fucking movie does not even begin to lick the shoes of the upper tier of animated Japanese movies. So, I mean, you can tell from a glance that that is the case. And we're talking about a series that has, in Japan, taken, you know, the country by storm in the past. It might not be the case now. I mean, that was a terrible decision. I chose to, in that moment, prioritize drinking a hot drink over healing. That was a really stupid decision, and I regret that. But yeah. And that's what I have to say about the animated movie. It might be an unfair assessment of it, particularly given that I haven't watched it, but, you know, I feel like Monster Hunter is worth more than, oh, it's not terrible. That concept of, oh, it's not terrible, so, you know, it's fine. I think Monster Hunter's worth more than that. So, I don't think I'll be watching it, and unless I'm told that it's some amazing movie that is much better than it appears to be on the surface, I'm not going to take the time to watch it. It's just what it is. Well, you can go and do that, Ethan. I think, well, no, let's think about it. You watched the live-action movie, in spite of all of my... I mean, I was pleading with you and Tyler not to watch that movie, and you watched it. I don't think Tyler ended up watching it. Did he watch it in the end? The comedy gets explained. I don't think the comedy needs to be explained. Do I need to have it explained as far as, you know, the relevance of Lunastra to any level of story. Like, do I need that? It's still a low-hanging... It's a low-hanging fruit, okay? Oh, just when I was talking about... Uh-oh. What's that? What has Bob pulled out? What is that? Is that a vacuum cleaner? That might be a vacuum cleaner. He had a high-pressure hose before, but... that sounds like some sort of industrial vacuum cleaner. I don't know, I can't keep up with Bob, I really can't. I don't know what's going on with the guy. I don't know if I'll carve that tail or not. I might. But anyway. Excuse me. I don't apologize for having high standards for Monster Hunter animated content. But again, people are willing to give it a try, and if they're willing to give it a try, then they're allowed to like it. But I don't really want to acknowledge its existence. I can't escape the fact that it exists, so I talk about it. If I could just ignore it, I would do so. But everyone wants to talk about it. So, you know, it's the same as a new Monster Hunter game coming out that I have no intention of playing. I can't really escape the fact that it exists because everyone wants to talk about it. So, you know, I have to give my 2 cents, or at least I feel compelled to do so. I guess I'm not carving that tail. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, I did hear that Rise has not been doing well in the public view. And when I say the public view, I mean a generality of people playing Monster Hunter in the year 2021. I mean, Rise has fallen out of favour. And I'm not surprised. Because in my experience, and this has always been my experience, and partially to do with Vernon, and it's not just Vernon, but many... it's not just Vernon, it's other people that I've run into as well. People who enjoyed World did not enjoy Rise. You know, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. So, I've said this before, but Capcom succeeded in disenfranchising not only the people they picked up with Monster Hunter World, but also the people who wanted a traditional Monster Hunter game. I mean, it's incredible. They actually fucked up so hard that they couldn't even hold the interest of one of those 2 groups. Like, how do you do that? That's incredible. That takes talent. But they did it. They fucking did it. And I don't really know what can be said other than I would be disappointed if I cared. I don't care anymore. I've reached the point where it's just not important to me. A person has to, I guess, detach themselves if they feel like they're going to get too annoyed by something. And I have done that. I have detached myself from the current state of the Monster Hunter series, because if I don't, I will be left so enraged that it's just not going to be conducive to a happy life. I'm going to be sitting here enraged all day. And I'm sure there are still people who defend Rise, I wouldn't doubt it, but I do think that people have, you know, it has fallen out of favour. I think people have taken issue with it, and as far as what Capcom does next, I know exactly what they're going to do next. I know exactly what they're going to do next. They are not going to try to appeal to people like me. They gave up on me a long time ago. They knew that they were going to walk away from what I wanted with this game. They knew this was going to be the last game that I was going to want to play. I'm not literally talking about me personally, I'm talking about people who have my preferences. People who value what I value. What they're going to do is appeal to the world crowd. I hope you guys are ready for, hope you're ready for Monster Hunter to not be Japanese anymore. It's not going to even feel Japanese, it's going to be very, very westernized. Because that is where the success is. That's what Capcom have identified. They tried to do something that would please everyone and fail to please anyone, and consequently they will come crawling back to the world crown. So that's what will happen. Open world is next. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I said that there is a potential for that, for sure. But, we'll see what happens. I really don't know. It feels like a big jump from World Rise and then an open world Monster Hunter game. I feel like there would have to be a gradual build up to that, but it's possible that it could happen overnight. Like, all of a sudden we go from Rise to, you know, an actual open world Monster Hunter game. That would be great. I think it would be really fun. I had a conversation with Ethan about it some time ago, about how they could make it work, and I was left really frustrated because I knew that Capcom would never come up with ideas that were as good as ours. You know, particularly Ethan. Like, Ethan had some amazing ideas of how to do an open world Monster Hunter game, and I cannot remember it in deep detail. But he was talking about how, you know, you could have the caravan from Monster Hunter 4, and everything that you need as a hunter is on that caravan. You know, you've got a forgery, you've got a place to, you know, almost like a farming situation. You can do all those things on that caravan, and that is the caravan that you take across the open world. And you've got people that you travel with, so you actually make interpersonal connections with them. And it's just like, and we just went through all the things that they could do to make an open world Monster Hunter game work perfectly. But Capcom, on no planet, in no alternate reality even, would they make a game like what we had conceptualized that evening over a Discord call. And I was left really frustrated by that. I was just like, they would never do that. Like, Capcom is incapable of making a game that good. So, you know how when you're a fan of something, you have these sort of fanboy dreams that you know can never be fulfilled? It's that kind of thing. It's just, there's no way that Capcom would ever do that, because it's too good. It's too on the nose. It's too perfect. Alright, catch you later, Vernon. You know, it is too perfect for them to realise, oh, that'd be a great idea. Capcom have always missed the mark on that. At least I think so. So, there you go. It left me frustrated because I realised that to ever hope or pray for something like that to exist is to be disappointed. Like, there is nothing but disappointment that can follow. So. Oh, Ethan is still here. That's great to hear. But yeah, he's... You know, Ethan has all the ideas. You know, I was definitely contributing. Mainly because I didn't really want to allow myself to go too deeply into it, because I was getting frustrated by what he was saying, because it was so perfect that I just knew that it would never happen. But, you know, Ethan had some amazing ideas for an open world Monster Hunter. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, and then obviously part of it was the fact that it would be sort of 4th gen Monster Hunter. It would have the rigidity that we appreciate and all of that. What I love is that you have games like Monster Hunter Online, which looks so amazing, but they play like 3rd gen, and it's just perfect. I love that. Now, the problem with Monster Hunter Online was that there were so many problems with that game that even if it looks amazing and it plays like 3rd gen, it's not good enough, because there were so many other problems with that game, because it was a free-to-play game. Most of the budget clearly went into the cosmetics of the game, and what we had as a result was something that really felt like a game that was permanently in beta or something. And that was an issue, but it really was a way for me to see that it's all about... it's not about how the game feels when animations are updated. Like, animations being updated is not important for Monster Hunter. It's all about, you know, just keeping things looking amazing so that you're immersed, but the gameplay staying at, you know, 3rd gen level, for me, is what feels most like Monster Hunter. For example, Monster Hunter Online looked better than World. It actually did. And it came out in 2013. And it played like 3rd gen. And honestly, it felt better than World ever did for me. So, there you go. Well, I think so, Takashi. I don't think that I can continue to engage with Monster Hunter as it is now. If they... Because the thing is... Oh, look out, we've actually got another person. Oh, that's a bit of a weird greeting. He's like, hello? Hello with a question mark. Yeah, hi. But I just don't trust that Capcom can deliver on what I want, given the situation they're in. Their best bet is to do what they did with World, because that worked. At this point, they're under pressure. I mean, this is the funny thing. Do we consider Rise to be a failure? Do they even consider Rise to be a failure? Because it sold so well. It sold so well, so maybe they don't even consider it to be a failure, unless they are actually in tune with the community reaction, which I would like to think they are. They would probably think that Rise was great. I mean, nothing wrong with Rise at all. It sold so well, right? Well, you can't look at the sales numbers. The Switch is a very, very successful console. Sales numbers for a game can only be as good as the sales numbers of a console if the game is, you know, married to a specific console. Which Rise is for now. It won't be next year, but for now it is. Like, people talk about how Twilight Princess sold better than Wind Waker did. Well, of course it did, because Wind Waker was on a console that didn't do very well at all. Whereas Twilight Princess was on a console that had turned into a cultural phenomenon in the West. You know, everyone had a Wii, and if you got a Wii at launch and wanted to play an RPG, it was Twilight Princess. You know, there's no fucking question as to why Twilight Princess did so well. The point is that the success of a console is a big part of what makes a game sell well. If no one's got the console, no one's going to buy the fucking game. That's the idea. Now, when you have a game that is released on multiple platforms, then you don't have to worry about things like that. But in the case of Rise, given that it was released only on the Switch, I would say much of its success is to do with the fact that a lot of people who only owned a Switch, or maybe a lot of people who didn't have the specs to run World on a PC, didn't really have a PS4, didn't have those sort of consoles, but did own Switch, jumped on that. They wanted to play a Monster Hunter game, and they did so. I would say that would be a big reason why it sold so well. But overall, the Switch was a very successful system, therefore there was great potential for a good sale, or for good sales figures for Monster Hunter Rise, given that the console sold so well. As long as they don't fuck it up with the advertising, and they didn't. You know, Capcom knows how to advertise Monster Hunter. That's why World did so well. That was the biggest thing with... Oh, for fuck's... Why do I keep walking into this shit? What a joke. But yeah, Capcom did very well with their advertising. That's one of the reasons why World did as well as it did. It's not because the game was good, it's because... I mean, definitely part of it was to do with the fact that people were introducing themselves to a formula that really is perfect. I mean, it is a beautiful formula, the Monster Hunter formula, and it was streamlined to be palatable for basic mainstream gamers. And so therefore it did well, but it cannot do well without good advertising, and World was very, very well advertised. Capcom knew exactly how to get their game out to the mainstream space, and yeah, the success is clear. And they did the same with Rise. You know, in spite of the fact that the people who hadn't played a game except for World looking at Rise and going, oh, this is a crap game, because, you know, it's clearly, you know, the graphics aren't as good, it feels clunky, blah, blah, blah. That's literally what people were saying. In spite of that, Rise sold so well. So, yeah, The point is that I think Capcom are far and away giving up on what I want. They will instead just try to appeal to the world crowd again. Which spells the end. I mean, when Monster Hunter World did as well as it did, I said that this is the end of the series for the reason that it has set a precedent that we can streamline to this degree and succeed so entirely when it comes to, you know, the overall gaming community, when it comes to people's perceptions in the mainstream space. You know, we can streamline so well and sell this game so well that we have no reason to return to the old formula. That's when I realized, yeah, this is the end. This is the end of an era, which means that it's the end of my enjoyment of the series. And that isn't like some decision that I've made without considering the enjoyment that can be had from World. Yes, there's a bit of enjoyment that can be had from World, but overall, what I value has been left behind. It has been completely left behind, and I can't ignore that. So I will continue to enjoy the old games, and that is my Monster Hunter experience. I will not invite new Monster Hunter into my life. Not anymore. Because I tried to do that with World. I have never tried so hard to appreciate a game as I tried to appreciate World. And eventually I just had to put it down and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So, you know, I feel like I've tried. I can be convinced of the fact that I've at least given 5th gen a chance. And, yeah, that's the way it is. Oh, what a fucking joke. Oh, it did just manage to get it. That's great. That's encouraging. Oh, I did manage to get his tail there, that's great. I have a lot of appreciation for people who want to go backwards. A lot of people have gone backwards, it's incredible. Rise has been good for one thing in the Monster Hunter community, and that is pushing people to play Generations Ultimate. I mean, how incredible is that? How fucked up does a game, or rather, how much does a game have to fuck up that people actually go, I'm gonna try out the older one on the same system, because this isn't doing it for me. And it's brought people to old Monster Hunter. It really has. I mean, there are more people now from 5th gen giving older Monster Hunter a try because Rise sucks. Seriously. And that's a good thing. You know, the best thing Rise ever did was suck, because it's brought people to old Monster Hunter, and I like that. I want people to enjoy old Monster Hunter. No, I don't particularly want lots of people encroaching on, you know, what I consider to be my territory. There's an element of that, but that's a small part of the overall picture. What I would like is for modern Monster Hunter players to be able to appreciate what I appreciate at the end of the day. So what I just mentioned isn't really that relevant to the situation. I would like people to appreciate what I appreciate. And I think there's more of that now than before Rise came out, because Rise actually did not succeed in terms of keeping people's interest. It succeeded in getting sales, but a sale is extremely different to, you know, keeping people interested. It's very different to, you know, game enjoyment. People can enjoy a game when it first comes out, but then when the dust settles, they can start to see the truth behind the game. And I think people started to see that with Rise, and that's a good thing. I won't be playing Rise on PC even if it's modded a lot. I don't really want to play modded Monster Hunter. It's never been a series that I play with mods, so I can't really imagine. For me, if the game's not good out of the box, I won't play it when it comes to Monster Hunter, because I'm just not used to that. Comparing it to something like Elder Scrolls has always been a PC experience. You know, it started off as a PC series, and it always will be a PC series. Therefore, given that modding and PC go hand in hand, Elder Scrolls has always been a modding experience for me. Now, Skyrim, out of all of the games, definitely was the easiest to mod, that can't be denied, but modding has always been a big part of Elder Scrolls, so I can do that quite comfortably. I can comfortably mod an Elder Scrolls game, and I don't feel like I'm in any way defiling the spirit of the game. But for Monster Hunter, there's a sacred aspect to the out-of-the-box experience that I wouldn't want to sully with mods, and that's just me. I'm perfectly content with other people wanting to mod the game, and I did mod World, but that's only because I didn't respect World in the way that I respected other Monster Hunter games. That's the only reason why I did that. I won't be getting Rise on PC to mod it, for the simple reason that Rise insulted me so deeply that I will not play it ever again. I was so terribly insulted by that game that I will not spend money on it. There's just no way. No way in hell. Not even to mod it and possibly make it more enjoyable. No. It will not happen. I might actually do a corkscrew jab here. Please? Yeah, I got basically all of it out. That was good. I realised that I had corkscrew jab charged up for a long time and never used it. Yeah, I don't know if anything that I have said has been interpreted as profound or interesting or anything, but it is my genuine feeling when it comes to Monster Hunter, and I try not to talk about it, but I always find myself on the subject, and that's just what it is. So, yeah, I explain it so that people don't have to wonder why I'm sitting here playing Generations Ultimate and not some 5th gen game. Vernon's final review of the animated movie is in Discord now. I really did... I'm so stupid. This whole time I really did think... Oh, whoops, I don't have any hot drinks left. I really did think that I started at Purple Sharpness with this lance, but I don't start at Purple Sharpness, so let's stop trying to sharpen up from white. That might be a good idea. Using a lance against a Barioth is no fun, but here I am. I've been playing entirely subconsciously, and likely I've likely been playing terribly, but I'm doing what I can. But yeah, I expect the next Monster Hunter game to be very world-esque. There's no other response that Capcom could make that would... I don't know if you would call it their executive staff. Whoever makes the high-level decisions. I think the only thing that would be accepted at the highest levels of Capcom right now would be something that is definitely going to appeal to the world crowd. There's nothing else that can be done. So if you're a Monster Hunter player who liked World, but didn't like Rise, you didn't necessarily have to hate Rise, but you know, if Rise didn't quite meet your expectations, but you loved World, I think you should remain positive about future prospects when it comes to the series. Chances are there is enjoyment there for you in the future. For me, no. No. It's over for me. This is the last game that I'm going to enjoy. And I said this 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago. I said, if Generations Ultimate is the last Monster Hunter game that I can enjoy, I'm content. And the truth of it is that I will be content if this is the last game that I can enjoy from the series, because there are so many games to enjoy. From Monster Hunter 1 to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, there are a lot of games for me to enjoy. Especially now that I'm taking first gen on board properly. First gen's really hard. I have to say that I would not have been driven to first gen unless 5th gen failed in the way that it did for me. But there is a beauty to first gen. It's strange, but I'm starting to appreciate it now. And I guess, you know, that's a blessing in disguise. Even though I'm so terribly disenfranchised with Monster Hunter as it is today, at least now I can appreciate first gen. Hey Forlorn, haven't seen you in a while. Like, a while. It's good to see you again. Alright, I'm gonna check Vernon's final review for the movie. After finishing the movie, it's actually gone down in rating. His initial rating was 7 out of 10, it's gone down to 6 out of 10. After finishing the movie, I would give it a 6 out of 10. The humour was good, decent animation, but it's lacking due to how short it was. If it was just 10 minutes longer, they could have done that last fight scene properly and really showed off what Lunastra can do, but it was a little lackluster. I think it's worth watching, it does go into the lore, and really showcases what Monster Hunter is as a new hunter. Okay. Well, a 6 out of 10 is not a strong rating. Like, that's not enough to get me to pick it up. I'm not going to see a 6 out of 10 and go, yeah, I'm going to give this movie a chance. A 6 out of 10 from Vernon is what I would call a scathing review. Because Vernon is not... He's not going to be cutthroat about it. He's pretty forgiving, okay? So if Vernon's giving it a 6 out of 10, I can tell you one thing. I've got better things to do with my life than watch that fucking movie, so I'm good thanks. I'm A-okay with not watching that, ever. So, thanks but no thanks, Capcom. Seriously. Wow. My stream has been muted so that Ethan can watch this fucking movie. I'm actually insulted. I'm actually insulted. How long is the movie? Like an hour or something? Hey Virus. Thanks for making yourself known. I didn't know that you were here. 52 minutes. What the fuck? 52 minutes? Why is it so short? They couldn't even get to 60? What a bunch of dicks. Can't even get... I mean... Oh, it's a short. Okay. People have been calling it a movie, so... Alright. I had the weirdest dream last night where you and I were playing Monster Hunter Tri, and the last thing I heard was you saying, "Welcome back to a live stream recording of Monster Hunter Tri," and then I woke up. You were just transported to an ideal world where I was live streaming in the Tri days. I would love to do what I'm doing right now, but back in Tri. I would love that, but I just didn't have the internet to live stream back then. Like the internet speed to do so. And for some reason I didn't really record Monster Hunter Tri. I had gone off recording videos back in the Tri days. Because I started off recording videos in 2009 and 2010, and I took a break from recording videos in 2011 and all of that. And as far as 2010 was concerned, I didn't record Tri for the reason that it was such an incredible departure from what I was focused on. You know, I was a bit of a retro gamer, and Nintendo-focused gamer when I was recording for YouTube initially. And so I would never record YouTube for that, or excuse me, I would never record to YouTube with Monster Hunter Tri for that reason. Excuse the background noise. Oh, look out. Senba says, "Please help me, T." He just joined, didn't he? No, Senba did actually contribute to the last hunt, so I guess I can help him. I don't mind. I hadn't even realised that Senba was the person who joined in Vernon's place. I was too busy talking the whole time. Alrighty, so I will therefore... Oh, now that Vernon's not here, well, I shouldn't say that, that's unfair. I was going to say, now that Vernon's not here, I can use paralysis. I mean, he did offer to unequip his paralysis set for my benefit. So I'm not going to say that. But I will use paralysis. What's the best fire longsword you can use? There are a lot of choices when it comes to Generations Ultimate as far as fire longswords are concerned. I chose to go with the standard Rathalos longsword because it's actually really, really strong, but you need to have sharpness +1 for it. If you don't have sharpness +1 or +2, well, particularly +2, you'd have to use bludgeoner with it because it has like a little sliver of, well, not really a sliver, a small chunk of blue, and then it goes into green. But if you've got sharpness +2, it's great. It has a reasonable amount of white, a reasonable amount of blue, and that's good enough. In this game, purple sharpness isn't as strong as it was in the past, so not having purple sharpness isn't a big deal. In the older games, when it came to dealing the most damage, the best weapons to get were the ones that had a lot of purple sharpness, because purple sharpness was serious damage, unless the weapon happened to not have much raw damage. Yeah, if you've got sharpness +2 with your armor set, I would definitely recommend standard Rathalos, but feel free to look through all of your options. I always encourage people to come to their own decisions when it comes to a good weapon. Just select what seems most balanced to you, or at the very least aligns with what you want to focus on when it comes to damage dealing. That's what I always recommend. Where the hell? Oh, it is here. Okay, it looked like it was here. Oh, that's right, it's Zenoga. I had no idea what the fuck we were hunting. Zenoga is somewhat resistant to paralysis now that I think about it. I probably shouldn't have equipped this. Whatever. Also, hello, steamed latte. Apparently this is not your first time typing, but I regret to say that I don't really remember you. Welcome back either way. I'm pretty good at remembering people, but somehow your name is not ringing a bell. But yeah, you know, I've given my recommendation, but feel free to see whatever works for you and make your decision based on that, while also possibly taking into consideration what I've recommended. In other words, even though I've recommended standard Rathalos, that's not to say that choosing something else is a bad decision. I always encourage people to make their own decisions because I think that's what's most fun when it comes to Monster Hunter. I always make my own decisions, which may or may not be more or less informed than someone else's decision, but, you know, it is my decision, therefore it feels like my weapon. It feels like my strategy, not someone else's strategy or someone else's weapon that they have decided for me to use. That's just how I approach Monster Hunter, and everyone's free to do that if they feel that it works for them. But, yeah. I realise that as of the last 6 years, there's been a bit of a trend in the Monster Hunter community where, you know, people will just take to Reddit, oh, what are the good armor sets that I can make? What are the best weapons I can make? You know, they don't even make the determination for themselves. They have someone else do it for them. For me, that's in violation of the spirit of Monster Hunter, for the reason that it's all about working out what's good for you. What do you want to do? I mean, provided the weapon isn't weak, there's no wrong decision, because dealing the best possible damage is no fun. You ask any meta player, well, maybe not any meta player, some people probably love the meta to the point where they would never say that there's a downside to the meta, but the meta is not the most fun way to play. It never has been, never will be. But people love the meta because they love to do the most damage possible. That's the thing, I mean, purely for the reason that they're dealing the best damage they possibly can, they are enjoying themselves. But outside of that, it's not that fun. As long as you're dealing good damage, that's what's important. So, where the hell is the orange on this fucking monster? I'll just settle for 2 colours for now because I have Extract Hunter charged. Apparently there are a few Monster Hunter puns in the animated movie. I'm sorry to hear that. I was hoping that Lunastra was going to be the only one, but I guess that was an unrealistic hope. Yeah, the meta is... When it comes to the meta play, the biggest challenge for me has been not to negatively judge the people who are so terribly swayed by the meta that they can't play any other way. There is a temptation to judge them negatively. But you know, everyone is perfectly entitled to play in whatever way they find to be most enjoyable. But I find it to be so empty and so soulless that I almost think that they just don't understand the spirit of Monster Hunter, because it is actually it's almost sad to me that a person would be so desperate to deal the best possible damage that they are forced to engage with the meta, you know. In other words, if the meta is bad, the game is bad. That's what those people are like. You know, if the meta sucks, oh, I hate this game because the meta sucks. Well, imagine if the meta didn't matter. Imagine if dealing like 5% less damage than you could deal was perfectly fine. Imagine that. Like, I don't know, to me, the meta is the best way to not enjoy the game. But if you really love the meta and you just enjoy dealing the best damage and it doesn't affect your ability to enjoy the game, then it's fine, I suppose. But I don't understand people who have to play to the meta. It's not nice. The reason why the information has to be sought out in the way that the meta players seek it out, in other words, like there's nothing in-game that tells them what they need to know. The reason why is because it's not intended for you to know the absolute best way to hunt this monster. You are expected to find out what's effective through your experiences with hunting the monster in-game. But they don't expect you to find the best possible way to fight the monster. And people's desire to find that out takes them outside of whatever the game offers, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself, but it shows that it's not necessarily the intention of the game designers. Or the game developers. So, yeah, I don't know. Lunar Toaster. That's one way to refer to her, yes. It was nice to use paralysis for a change, but again, I don't think that was a good choice of monster for a paralysis weapon. But yeah, I agree. The meta is limiting. If you allow yourself to be bothered by that, you've really just limited yourself to a very strict way of playing for each weapon type. You'll be able to do something with them in the future, Potato. I don't know what, but just hoard them. Just hoard them. You know, I've said this before, but you're watching a live stream, not playing a video game. Don't worry about points. The reason why points exist is for the benefit of people who apparently can't just enjoy watching a live stream. And that's it. You know? If they need things like points, you know, cute little things like points and whatever else for watching a live stream, then they probably don't get the idea of watching a live stream in general. Those things are designed to keep people who would otherwise not be interested. And I don't see why they are necessary, but anyway. Oh, there's some Dinkroll. It's been a while since I've seen some Dinkroll. It's been ages since I've seen Dinkroll, actually. Just got my phone vibrated. Oh. Well, nothing too important, fortunately. Looking for Exchanger, obviously. Oh, look out. Maybe I was already looking through this specific list. Yeah, okay. No Exchanger, by the looks of it. Oh yes, I should say whose turn it is. Whose turn is it? Senba chose? Oh, okay. Pole is choosing. That sounds about right to me. Well, that's the thing. What Potato says when he says, jokes aside, just use whatever you find fun. That's the thing. If you're a meta player and you find the meta to be fun, then you are well within your rights to engage in the meta. That's the thing. So that's why I can't really tell people not to do that. Because if they find that to be fun, then power to them. But I think it's a real shame. That's my genuine feeling. I think it's a real shame. Because they've basically boxed themselves in to a very specific way to enjoy the game that limits their choices incredibly. But they wouldn't regret that. I don't think they would regret the fact that their choices are so limited, because they want to deal the most damage. So of course their choices would be limited. They understand that. What was the monster? Shit. I have to check again. What attitude do I approach a hunt with? My attitude is find whatever element is appropriate and use whatever weapon is comfortable given the moveset of the monster. It's a very general question, but that's what I do. To me it's quite logical. I mean, there are certain monsters that are annoying to hunt with certain weapon types, and so you just try to avoid using those weapon types. You can give yourself a bit of a challenge if you want to, but if you don't want that challenge, then just use what is comfortable for that monster and keep to an element that would be effective. Otherwise, you can use something with good raw, so you don't have to worry about element, and then alternatively you can use status as well. I mean, there are lots of options available to you, but the biggest thing when it comes to a hunt, I suppose, is using a weapon type that's comfortable for that hunt. That would be the primary variable. So ice, I guess, would be... Let's use Charge Blade. Sounds like fun to me. Here we go. Daora's World Bearer. That's a bit of an extreme name for a weapon like this. World Bearer. I have already eaten, and I think I did have exchange. No, I didn't have exchanger. Never mind. Never mind. Senba is still getting ready, apparently. Loyal Thunder. What is that? Is that an unupgraded... I think that's an unupgraded Orcus Quarcus. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I'm looking at. What the fuck? Yeah, it is. Check that out. At least it's rarity 8, but... Oh, rarity 9, excuse me. But, yeah. Not as good as it could be. Put it that way. Ethan's enjoying it so far. How about that? Ethan's quite critical. So... I think I'm confident that whatever he rates it is a good indication of how much I will enjoy it if I watch it, but I don't know, we'll see. Hello, Purple Monkey. Thank you for the follow, Saucy Bossy, what the hell? Interesting name. I couldn't really be further from this Diablos if I tried, but... Well, not that I could try to be further away, it's purely randomized as to where I start, but... You know, I can't enter a quest and then try or not try and have that affect where I spawn. So I don't really know what I was insinuating with that comment. Senba just took a nice charge to the face. So I think we have, well, 2 pierce gunners at least. I don't know what Pole is shooting with his bow. Don't know if I can confirm. What is that bow that he has? Oh, it's a raw bow. It seems to be pierce, actually. I think I'm seeing a pierce effect on those arrows. I like how that went from no colour straight to red. What the fuck was that? There was no orange present. Went straight to red. That's strange. Maybe not to people who use Charge Blade frequently. I don't, you know, I'm not used to that. That's weird. For me. But, that caught me off guard a little bit. Unfortunately, because I'm using this weapon, I can't really attack anything else but the legs consistently. And I can aim for the face, but that's not much better for damage. Yeah, well, I will aim for the face so that I may contribute to the breaking of the horns. I can also contribute KO damage, but I'm not expecting to get off a KO. Because I'm the only one dealing KO damage. I don't think I would be attacking the head frequently enough to actually get a KO off. I will rip a shield at my earliest convenience. Like now. Yeah, that'll work. Thank you. And I might energy blade something, I don't know what. Ideally the horns, because you get an increase in part damage when you use energy blades, so if I had to think of what's most important to be broken right now, it would be the face. Or the horns, specifically. Let's try to do it. Come on. Beautiful. It didn't break anything, but his first horn is very close to breaking, that's all I can say. I can't believe it didn't break, actually. That's a real surprise. There goes Senba. But, it is what it is. We can only hope and pray that we succeed. We can't do much more than that. Well, thanks for stopping by to say hello, Purple Monkey. You have a good rest of your day. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to reload and then go into axe mode. Get a little closer, do an upswing. I can't quite keep up with this Diablos. He's a speedy individual. The worst hunts are the ones where you're spending most of the time trying to catch up with the monster. And it's turning into that right now. Here we go. That's an opportunity if I've ever seen one. That's an annoying time for you to be flinched though, because it prevented me from getting follow-up attacks through. I didn't appreciate that at all. To be honest, I might finish up after this hunt. I don't need it to be 2 hours. I think I would rather have this be my last hunt, just in case I can't control the length of time the next hunt will take to be completed. I might actually do an AED here. Oh, that's not an AED. That's that's anything but. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it, but that's all right. I can rip a shield into the red and then get red shield from that. It's basically the exact same scenario as when I can't do that because it automatically loads the files. Damn. Well, that's fine. I can live with that. Now, I do not really require a hip check in the face. I can live without that. Thank you for this opportunity. How did you not? Diablos is very interesting in that his danger zone is not just the face, but also the tail. His tail is about as dangerous as his face. Very much so. And he's well designed in that way. I don't like fighting Diablos. Interestingly, Ethan doesn't mind Diablos. I don't know why. I don't know how a person could play Monster Hunter and have no real problem with Diablos. I find him to be unpleasant to fight. Therefore, I do not enjoy the experience. Whereas Ethan's like, no, I don't mind Diablos, he's fine. Whatever. I'm very much opposed to most Diablos hunts that I undertake. What more can be said? There goes Autonomic. As you can see, I can't really do much in the way of, performing a considerable or lengthy combo, because this monster will not stay in one place. I'm doing what I can, but yeah. Forlorn loves Diablos. Okay. Well, there are all sorts of people out there in the world, aren't there? All sorts of people out there in the world. I'll heal up and sharpen as well. I do start at purple, so that's fine. I'm sick of my phone vibrating. Can you stop? Bloody phone. Bloody phone. I think I'll be quite close to reaching 2 hours from this recording anyway. If it ends up being like, 1 hour and 58 minutes, then that's fine. I can live with that. I'm glad that I gave notice of the fact that this was going to be the last hunt anyway. I think it's Ripper Shield time. Yes, it is. Come on. There we go. I still don't know what sort of damage Ripper Shield does, but oh, look at that. Wow, that's some good damage that's been dealt. That's impressive. Nice work, guys. He's not limping to the Glavenus sleeping area. He's probably heading to the next large area. There are 2 large open sand expanses in this location, and yeah, that's where he's headed. Paul thought that he was going to the Glavenus sleeping area. I don't think that's a faster route either. I think that's a slower way to go. Yeah. Just slightly slower. But not, slightly, literally. He's not going to be too far from the monster here. Oh, I see. He has to climb that wall, so that slowed him down a bit. This is being a real idiot. He had to go all the way over there so that he could get in there, apparently. Stupid monster. I might energy blade this tail. Knocked him down at least. I'm not too desperate to break the horns, possibly because I don't need them. But I do believe that any Diablos hunt where the horns are not broken, like both of them, I do believe that such a hunt is a waste of a hunt. Because if you're going to hunt Diablos, you at least want a chance to get the best possible horn drop. And I don't think you have a chance unless both are broken. I will aim for the head. It's not the best damage possible, but... Oh, that's unfortunate to see. A completely whiffed supernova. Alright. Good hunt, everyone. Unfortunately, only one horn was broken, but that seemed like a speedy hunt. Maybe it was just a normal hunt, and time passed quickly for me. I don't quite know. Anyway. Do not open joy to key. Get that out. God. Alrighty. So that will basically conclude my live stream. This is the 100th live stream for the Monster Hunter live stream playthrough series, or well, Doomlink's live hunts I should call it. And I do thank you all for being here. It's been a good recording. I didn't really intend to get on the subject of 5th gen Monster Hunter, but I just can't help myself, as we all know. And, yeah. Nothing too egregious has taken place. No one's really done anything ridiculous. The worst guy was Eric, who was trying to upswing me out of the starting area, just so that I could possibly die. I mean, he wouldn't know whether I was there or not. He must have decided that I was leeching. What an asshole. But, yeah, I will see you all when I'm next recording Monster Hunter or anything else that you would like to watch, and I bid you farewell. Bye bye for now.